Hi, this is Neerja Chandna Peters. I'm from New Delhi, India, and this is a show going on in the Visual Arts Gallery, India Habitat Center in New Delhi. It is a group show, and I'm exhibiting 3 of my works here. Basically, I'm a doctor. I had specialized in family medicine and had been practicing with the Central Health Services for about 23 years. In 2010, I took a transfer from my hospital to a dispensary for family reasons because I wanted to devote time to my growing up kids. It was then that I got my Sundays off and I got some leisure. And every Sunday I would paint, try to explore various mediums, various genres, and suddenly I realized that after 1 or 2 hours of painting, I would feel like people say they feel after meditation. It was such a stress buster for me initially, and so much so that I would come back from work after seeing a heavy OPD of about 100 patients. I would come back and totally relax myself by painting. It would just relieve me of all the stress of the day. So this continued happening for a couple of years, after which I realized that this is what I want to do. I wanted to just be myself, paint, and I would reach a different world. I would lose myself into it. In fact, I found myself through it. And I tried everything. I tried figurative work, I tried realistic, landscapes, still life, miniatures, everything I tried, just to acquire the skill, to explore, to learn what exactly I like doing. And then one fine day, I went into geometry. It was a transition from the realistic figurative art to cubism, and then from cubism I went into pure geometry. And I would take a break from the miniatures and the fine rendering that I used to so much enjoy. I would take a break from that and go into abstraction. I started loving playing with lines, color, because I had this freedom of putting any color wherever I want. Wherever I want, I could put any line. And to bind these hues into boundaries was ironically the most liberating for me. And that's when I realized that this is me. Abstraction is me. This is my language. And then I started exploring abstract geometry, but every time I would have a central focus in all my paintings, which was very, very unintentional. They would ultimately appear forms like a whirling Sufi, like a sadhak, like somebody in meditation, somebody in a lotus position. So after finishing my painting, I would look at the canvas, have some coffee with it, and then I would see these forms, and that's how I started naming my paintings. The Awakening, Chintan, Manan, Sadhana, Sadhak. This painting here is called Sadhak. So this is a 7-feet work, and I enjoy, the most important part of my process is that I enjoy playing with light. I enjoy thinking of how to move light on the canvas. Light has been something that I have been inspired by. Every dawn, I wake up early, even before the sun rises. And that is the most inspiring time for me. All the creative thoughts, in fact, I write poetry, everything comes during that time. But I don't see the colors so well, so I do my drawing during that pre-sunrise, that Amrit Vela, that spiritual time. And after that, as the sun is rising, even though we don't see the sun, we know the sun is there. So I related to the Creator, the unmanifest Creator, who is there but we don't see him. And as the sun rises, it sheds light on everything and makes everything visible and tangible, just like the Creator. Creator shows his presence through people around, through goodness around, through the nature, through our inspiration. And so that's the time when I'm thinking, looking at the canvas, thinking where to put the light in it, where to hide the source in it. So source is usually in the center with a radial symmetry, radiating those rays of joy, positivity all around. And when I started exhibiting my works, people related it to Tantricism, Neo-Tantra art. Initially, since I came from a different field, I hadn't read enough about Tantra, Neo-Tantric artists. In fact, it was something new that I learned from the feedback that I got on my works. So I read about it, and then I realized that what is Tantric art? What is Neo-Tantricism? It is basically the mapping of energies, the fusion of Shiv, Shakti, the fusion of the sadhak with the Creator. And that was what I was feeling towards art. Art for me was my way of prayer. It was my meditation. And I was the sadhak or the Sufi, and art my murshid. And that's how these things very unintentionally started coming in the work. So whoever would see my works would say that some people said we see chakras. Some people say we feel very peaceful looking at your works. So it's not what people feel, it's what I feel while doing it. It's my journey that I'm enjoying it like a process of meditation. I achieve whatever I achieve in the very process. What happens beyond that, that is, I'm indifferent to that as of now. It's like they say in Gita, that you be detached to the fruits of your labor. Enjoy the journey so much that the goal is immaterial. And so this happened, and I started working on the theme of meditation. So this has been a series that I've been working on, almost reached about 300 works. And I just love to think what color to put where, what to do next. I have my journal where I just randomly draw some shapes, circles, lines, and then I put one color and keep thinking, what next? What next? Because the colors appear differently as they are placed in different backgrounds. So you can play with the value, the saturation, you can create gradation, apparent juxtaposition, transparency, which is actually not there. It is just a play of color, it's just intermixing of color. So I feel that initially when I think about play of light, even before I think of color, the color comes much later. Color is the body of the painting, but the actual soul is in the play of light. So colors are the manifest body, and the light comes as the value, the soul, the unmanifest value in a painting. So that's what I think about my works, and it's a journey. It's every day I'm learning new things. It's a beautiful show here. We have artists from all over the country. There are 50 artists, each one very, 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 very amazing in their own language. So it's a very creative environment that I'm loving being here and part of it. And this work here, I would like to say, is called Divine Rhythm. And here is Hope. This was the canvas that I was working during the lockdown. The first lockdown, I was inspired by the colors of the blue sky, because there wasn't any pollution at that time in the sky. It was March 2020, and there were beautiful hues at dawn and dusk. The sky was so clear in Delhi, which is very rare. Otherwise, we see gray skies all the time. So these were the colors that came, and so I called it Hope, because that was the time when hope was something that we were all surviving on. And then this one is Divine Rhythm. This was sort of, I thought that I've been talking about color, enjoying the color, but then I say that for me, the play of light is more important. So I thought, why not just play with light in one of my canvases? Why not just remove all the color and just have a monochromatic palette with just shades of black, gray, white, and let me see how I play with light in that. So it was kind of a challenge that I gave myself, and surprisingly, when I looked at the canvas, as I always do after completing the painting, I was looking at it and I could feel synchronicity, rhythm, a harmony, so I called it Divine Rhythm.